Hello and welcome. It's a good day to be on the farm. My name is Chuck, and this is Riverview Cows, episode 17. And in the last episode, I caught you guys up on what has been happening in year 3. We are in March, or we were in March. I have skipped to April, and I have mowed fields 8 and 9, as well as put that entire truckload of hay into the cow shed for feed that will hopefully get us through a large portion of the summer. I wanted to see, number one, how much it took to fill up the cow shed where we're at now, and also just to see if we could track to see about how much our 238 cows are eating on a daily basis might help us gauge where we're at. So we're going to take a look at that in this episode, as well as getting these 2 fields ready to go. Obviously, we mowed this, and then we tedded it and turned it into hay because we need hay more than anything else at this point. And we're just feeding our cows hay right now, but we will hopefully, let's see if we can turn that off and fold that. Hopefully we will start feeding them TMR here into the year or year 4 when they're really close to that reproduction range. And that's also when we're going to get some more cows for free into the shed. So I did miss a tiny little strip over here, so I'm just coming back with the baler, but not the tedder, or not the windrower, because we don't need it. So I'm just going to drive up this little edge and grab this last little bit. And as you can see, there's hay in front of us, but no hay behind us, and our number is climbing, although we're driving real slow up the hill. But anyway, that will get us a pretty good idea of where we're at going forward, and then eventually we'll add in even some more cows. I think I've been buying them roughly September time frame. And I'll probably do the same this year because the first group of cows I did 60 of each type of dairy cow, and then I did 59 of each type of dairy cow in year 2, and so now in year 3 I think I'll do 58, and that way we can just tell when they reproduce, are these the babies from year 1, year 2, or year 3. And this is not picking up. Is that not wide enough, or did I really just cut that into 2? Yep. Cut it into 2. Alright, let's back up. And we will try it again, because I missed a little bit down here too. I probably could have used the windrower here, but we'll just get this picked up. It's not very long, not worth getting all that equipment out again for this. But we do have a whole nother field that's also been tedded that we need to collect and bale. So it looks like we made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bales, and we're working on a 9th from this field. And these are the fields that I had planted in the grass, but I haven't actually mowed before, so they're not fertilized yet. But now that they've been mowed, they'll be 50% fertilized, and then we'll roll them in May and make them 100% fertilized. And that is, in case you missed it last episode, why I turned off precision farming. Since we need so much grass, I want to be able to get that fertilization bonus for rolling because it's free, and I don't want to pay to put solid fertilizer on these fields if I don't have to. Alright, so let me just zoom in the camera because of all the trees here. We'll zoom it out in a second. We're still on the windrower. And this first strip will have a little bit of grass there, but I just didn't feel like it was worth tedding back for that little bit. As long as it's majority hay, it'll turn into a hay bale, because grass and hay are really just the same thing. The hay is just drier, so we're just going to come like this, and watching in the lower right, our bale fill up, it still says hay. So the little bit of grass we're picking up here isn't enough to turn this into a grass bale, which is exactly what I predicted and hoped would happen. So we'll run down here and get this taken care of. So I'm going to call that 9 bales in the first field. We'll see where we're at here on the second field shortly. But I didn't remember to dump out my bales before we started this, so that's on me. But we'll come over here, and then we're going to pick this up, drive a little bit farther to pick up that row. Then we're going to come back. We're going to take kind of a wide turn here, because I want to come through that tree and that pole to head north and south in this field. Like so. And if I can time it just right, we should be able to set this down and get this little bit of grass here on the left into something that we can pick up with the baler. And then a little bit of a gentle turn to get us. We're going to cap off this end because there's not quite enough room to turn around down here like there is on the other end of the field. So doing this will help us just clear out this end for us. Oops, looks like I missed a spot there too. It's all right. Then we'll do the same thing, pick up the wind thrower but leaving it on, and we'll loop back this way. And then we'll back up enough that we should be able to get that bit that we just windrowed right there on the end of the field. Or not. I guess this is as far back as we can get because of the bushes there. Alright, so we'll come this way. Anyway, after we're done with this and we're putting this equipment away, I will show you what the cowshed looks like right now. We'll check the sales, then we'll flip over to May and get our grass rolling going. And then we're going to just try to figure out exactly how much these cows are going to eat a day. They eat a lot, but I want to get a number so I can predict how much the cowshed will, how many months the cowshed will get us when it's full based on the number of cows that we have right now. So reaching the end, we just pick up the windrower, and since this field isn't that big, I'm actually just going to do this loop thing where I go down one end and come back the other. Since I'm turning around anyway, don't have to do, oops, caught the edge of that tree. Don't have to do a 3-point turn. If I can just add the 10 seconds to do that. And it's actually going to get shorter every single time, which is also nice. And apologize for the tree in your view. These trees just kind of get in the way. They do make the map look better, and I think I said this in an earlier episode, but like a more established farm, but they are just in the way as well. Every time you're turning around when you got to zoom out. If you're zoomed way in like this, it doesn't matter at all. But when I bale, I want to be able to see the bales coming out the back. It just helps me know where I'm at in my process. And of course, that bale got dropped right where I don't want it. But that's okay, because if we loop around, we should come at this one going east like we are now. So it shouldn't matter too much because we can just drive around it. And we already got 56% of a bale, so this shouldn't be enough grass to mess us up. And if we get one grass bale, it doesn't really matter. We'll throw it in the bale wrapper and make silage out of it, so I don't really care. But I am trying to make hay right now, so it makes sense to just keep making hay and not mess around with another material if we don't have to. Let's see, what was the other thing that I did? Oh, I installed a power washer because after I mowed these two fields, that Kloss that I'm driving now actually, and those two lawnmowers looked terrible, having not been power washed since year 1, and we're in year 3. They were dirty. So I went ahead and got a power washer and washed off the mowers and this Kloss. Now this Kloss is getting dirty again because we're using it, but it's obviously still way better than it was. We'll zoom in again here to try to avoid some of the trees. But So that is something we'll probably do to this baler when we're done as well, just to show you that, and because this baler has also not been washed since year 1, and we have put quite a few bales through it at this point. So anyway, that's kind of the progress we're making. Pretty much I'm going to have to mow and bale every day over the summer, because we've got 6 or 7 grass fields at this point. 6, but one of them is huge. So that's a thing. And so now I can pick this up, and hopefully we can avoid doing too much with this. I'm just going to push that bale out of the way, and we'll just have to not forget about it when we're doing our pickup. But luckily it's that kind of yellow-green, so it shows up pretty well against that border grass. So yeah, obviously this amount of cows is going to require some sort of baling all the time, pretty much, which is why we have so many fields, so we can constantly rotate them. Because if I do 2 fields today and 2 fields in May or June, because maybe if I roll in May, then I do 2 fields in June, and then do that giant field in July, then these 2 fields should be ready again in August or September. It takes about 3 months to get that full growth stage back with roll. No, it takes 4 months with rolling. So in order to kind of leapfrog the grass, we'll pretty much be always working on some sort of field for these, but that way we'll always have food for the cows, hopefully. And every now and then we'll just do one with grass bales to make silage if we feel like we've got plenty of hay. But since we can get 80% efficiency with just hay, that's what we're doing right now. We will get more going shortly for TMR. We have all the things for TMR now, and we could start putting in TMR, but I've literally just filled it up with hay, so we want to let the cows eat that down for a bit, because they'll eat the TMR first and then the hay will be a backup. But I don't really want to start dumping TMR in until we're low on hay, or lower on hay, and then we can try to get a lot of TMR going in the interim. I'm going to pick that up, drive forward enough to pick that up in the pickup for the windrower, or excuse me, the pickup for the baler. This is going to be just wider than 1 row, I think, so I think we might have to do 2 rows here to get all of this. That's okay. Oh, you know what? It's going to be close. I'm going to go for it. Problem is, when you go for it, you might leave 2 strips, 1 on each side, and then you have to go three passes when I could have done in just 2. Yeah, see, look at that. I'm just going to hug the left side so I can come back with the baler on this right side. Otherwise, you end up doing 3 passes, which is not ideal, but doesn't matter, because we're going to continue to make hay and grass on these fields. So if we miss a spot, it'll be there next time we come around to bale it, so it's not the end of the world. But we pick those up, we'll drive forward, and then we'll turn around. And then, so we've got this strip here, and then that little bit up there we can pick up on our way back. So we'll drop this, and this is not going to be anywhere near another bale. We're just trying to clean up the field for when we roll. The nice thing, though, is when you roll, you can really see what you missed, especially if it's hay, because it's that lighter color. When you roll, you get that nice dark green that looks like a tennis court. One of those grass tennis courts, anyway. So it does make it makes it nice for picking up the parts of the bales that you missed. So let's go ahead and pop this up. We're just going to loop back around here, grab this little bit here, and then I think we're just going to turn off the windrower, fold it up. We'll let the baler keep going for a minute. as we come down here and get this last little bit that we missed. Where was it? Oh, it's up here. Yep. Where it gets at maybe 32%. Nope, not even that. 31. So we're gonna come back here. Gonna turn off the baler, lift that pickup. Then we're gonna eject these last two bales. And then fold that baler up. And then we're gonna take this up to the power wash. Get that cleaned off, get this parked up. Then we'll come back down with the trailer, pick those up, and then we'll pretty much end it for today and skip to May where we can get out the roller and I'll show you what that looks like. I know you've seen it before, but we'll kind of go from there. So I'll make sure to show you the cows before we start rolling, and then I'll end the episode with grass rolling. And if we hit time before I'm done, then I'll just grass roll the rest off camera. But that way you'll at least see kind of the stages we're going through right now to get all this stuff taken care of. So here's where I parked that power washer. Hopefully this will be close enough. So come down here and grab this. Start with the windrower here. Yeah, you can see the paint's quite chipped on that, but not a lot of dirt on it, because I guess you wouldn't get a lot of dirt on that part of it. And the class is pretty clean because I just power washed it a little bit ago, but this is pretty dirty. So let's rotate here. And yeah, kind of at the end of the power washer hose, but we're close enough. Yeah, look at how much better that looks. So we're going to get that cleaned up, come back, just give a little bit more to the tractor and a little bit more to the windrower. Boom, boom, boom. All right. And I have been parking this. This is too tall for our sheds, so I've been parking this way up top, which is probably too far out of the way. We can park it over here if we're nice about it, so I guess we will do that. So let's go windrower there, and since we're putting the mowers in the building now, we can put the baler right over here. Nope, straight out. I gotta get a different camera angle so I can see what's going on. Alright, so we'll just park this one right here. And for the roller, we're going to use the same one we use the tedder for, so this one here. So let's drop this tedder off, hop down here. Our roller's also looking pretty dirty, so we might want to give that a wash when we're done. But again, that's tomorrow's job. But I can drive the roller around tonight, it's fine. So first thing we want to do is I want to kind of jump over here and show you the cow shed like I always do. So here is our mixing wagon. It's got nothing in it now, but I did put some more straw in. So here's this. So you can see food. We have 290,000. 38. And straw we're at 68,000. That's a little bit easier to see in the animal tab. So hay, we filled that thing all the way up. Maximum was 300,000. So they've already eaten 10,000 today. Straw, we filled up to 68,000. I think we filled it up a little over 70, I want to say, but I don't actually remember that number. But we have productivity at 100%. And so look, our two 60s are brown Swiss here that's 20 months old, and these that are 19 months old. They're both on 10% reproduction. So when they hit that 100% reproduction, we'll get another 60 brown Swiss and another 60 Holstein here. So we're just going to keep the hay filled up long enough to get the little cows, and then we can start with maybe some TMR at that point once this gets back down. Now to get there, if you remember, I had almost a full load. I had 24 hay bales parked right here on the wagon, on our baling trailer here, which we're going to grab to take down the field shortly. I was able to put 20 of them in here, and that's what got us to that percentage. So we did that. The last 4 bales I ended up stacking in here. So these are the last 4 of the ones that I purchased. Everything else is ones that I've actually made. So obviously these are ones that I got off of one of the cow pastures, and here's another 8 bales I got off another cow pasture. And we're just going to go get the hay bales off the grass fields now, and we'll come back here and stack them in here. Oops, watch out for those spikes. Inside. So I'm moving the hay to inside, and we're going to slowly use this straw and the mixing wagon to keep the straw topped off. So this is another 12 straw bales that will go into that green wagon right there and then put in, and then we're going to start keeping the straw in here just like this straw over here. So I'm sort of moving things inside because it got to be a little tight driving through here with the double layers like that, but that is where we are at. So I'm going to take this, we're not actually going to roll till tomorrow, so I'm going to take this up to the house and park it, and then we can just tab over to this tractor when we're ready to sleep. Since we've already got it fired up, I don't want to turn it off and then turn it on and then turn it off again. Oh, and that reminds me, one of my listeners, Rick, suggested that we try to sell that chicken coop if we're not going to make chickens anymore. So we're going to give that a shot too. I have no idea if you can sell this or not, but we're going to check that here. So obviously we've got all these eggs. We're ready to take down to market, but if we don't need it because we just don't have the wheat production to have chickens right now, I think we better just see what we can do. So let's go into construction and see if we can. Can't sell that, but this here, can we select? Nope. Chicken coop. Yeah, we can. $36,000 for 20 months. Yeah, Rick, you were right. Let's go ahead and sell it. There you go. Kind of opens up the fence here, but gives us a little more room. Now this is kind of out in the way, but there you go. So that is taken care of, which is always good. Yeah. So what were we going to do next? Hold on. All right, so we're going to run down to our field with our bale trailer. Pick up all those hay bales we just made and see what happens. So get this into operating position and we should start picking these up. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Probably don't need to count because it counts in the lower right. And then there were 2 in the baler when we moved over, so 7, 8 off that first field. And then we'll just see how many we get off the second one. Here. And I do really enjoy having an auto load bale trailer like this. I have stacked them myself, but we're already going to be moving them so much around the yard anyway. Like, I'm going to dump this off outside the shed. We're going to have to move them inside the shed with the telehandler. Then we're going to have to move them back into the feeding area with the telehandler. And then we're going to have to mix them into the mixing wagon with the telehandler. That I don't feel like I'm missing out too terribly much by auto loading them like this. So, and I did cheat through the bushes on the way down, so I will go ahead and take the long way back to make it a little realistic. I'm just so used to kind of cut through that area. Sometimes I forget that I probably shouldn't do that. But 2 more fields. So those 2 grass fields that were not fertilized, or not fully fertilized anyway, got us 18 hay bales, which is pretty good. 18 hay bales will add at least another 2 months, maybe 3, to the cows that we currently have. And so I can come in here and... So what I did last time was just something right around here where I just drop them kind of off. Then I gotta go park this. Oop, not gonna make that turn. I'm gonna go park this. I've been just parking this in front of this shed because I just really can't back this thing up with the way that the front end of this pivots. I have a hard time putting this anywhere. So I'm gonna go there and drop this here. All right, so first of all, let me, and then we'll use this telehandler to kind of turn those around the corner and drop them back here against the back wall. And that seems to work pretty well. And I am obviously blocking the way into the garage here, but it's a double-ended garage and we're going to move these shortly. So we will get to that in a minute, but let's check out the sales and see what's going on. I did see this slurry tank was interesting. We are kind of filling up on slurry and we don't have what we need to start spreading slurry, which would be a crop field that we'd want to fertilize with that. So it would be extra storage for another 65,000 liters. I don't really know how I feel about that. Plus, I think you need a... I don't know. But that's interesting. Anyway, this is a mixing wagon that does 26 cubic meters. What does our mixing wagon do? Ours does 24 cubic meters, so it doesn't do that much more. The big thing about the one that is available here in the sales is it can pick things up off the ground, but we're doing mainly bales, so this is kind of not worth $100,000 for us for a slightly bigger mixing wagon. I was tempted by this. This is a great deal on this harvester. Because that would, once we start doing those bigger fields, we might want a bigger harvester or a second harvester. We're not ready for it yet. But it is a nice big Massey Ferguson harvester. And the deal with this is currently, so we currently have this one, which if you go into combinations gives us 8.5 meters. Yeah, 8.5 meters. But if we go to this one here, the ideal Massey Ferguson one, this one goes to 30 foot. So it's really not that much bigger, I guess. I thought it was bigger than that. No, it's 9.2 meters. pretty sure we have the New Holland. Yeah, 28 to 30 foot, 8.5 to 9.2. So really it's not that much bigger. So do we need another harvester right now? No. Do I want it? Kinda. Just to change it up. But it's probably not the wise move for us at this point, especially because we're not doing crops yet. So we're going to let that pass as well. Anyway, we're checking the sales. Let me just check the time on this recording so far. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and I'll move these tomorrow. We're just going to skip to the next day here. And then I'm going to get the grass roller going, and then we're going to wrap up the episode. And I won't make you watch me roll 2 fields worth of grass. I just want to demonstrate what we're doing here and kind of the process, so you guys can keep up with what the goal is with these grass fields. Whoops. Tight corner there. Probably shouldn't have came up here with this roller on the back, but we made it. So yes, if we look at the cows here, so we went from 300,000 to 247 from basically midday to today. So they're using, I mean, these 60, 120, 238 cows are using roughly 60,000 liters of hay a day. Okay, good to know. And we'll check our math and see how we're doing. But this is why we need 6 grass fields and why we have to be making hay all the time. And that's before we even reproduce and have the babies, the calves. Once we get those calves out here, yeah, it's going to be anybody's guess. So now you can see they've turned this darker kind of emerald green, which I really like. But so it's 50% fertilized here with a 73% yield bonus. But once we get this rolled, I'll show you what it looks like here in a second. Nope, lower. All right. So it makes this nice dark green, and here it is 100% fertilized, 96% yield bonus. So it does take it back at growth stage, so we have to fast forward to the next day, let it get this tall, then we come back and basically squish it down. But it makes it this nice dark green, except for this corner that we missed planting. And that's going to help us get even more hay off of it next time. So I'm going to go ahead and get these 2 fields rolled. I won't make you watch me do it because you've seen me roll before, but this is what we're going to be doing on this series for a while, is just making lots of hay and keeping those cows fed, and then we'll get some TMR. I will make sure that you guys see when the calves are born, and then I will also make sure you guys see as soon as we start doing TMR, and I will make sure you guys can see when I do those eggs. But I won't make you watch me do grass field after grass field after grass field after grass field. So again, I'll keep skipping around. We'll do our best to make sure you guys are caught up on what is taking place, but this is an interesting series as I'm just kind of moving my way through it, because I've done so much grass care on all of my farms. I don't want you to have to just watch me bale and ted and bale and ted and bale and ted, and all of that stuff. So we'll figure it out, and then we will get fields going on those larger ones shortly, but I'm thinking that's probably a year 3 in game. So we're just going to try to get enough hay made to get us through year 3, and then in year 4 we can start doing crops again, or maybe we'll plant winter wheat or winter barley this year just to get some more straw going and kind of go from there. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you liked the episode, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.